Let's have a lesson and discussion on this work. Follow the lesson for free and just pick up all the tips from the video for free. But if you're interested, I do have a sheet music edition of this piece. It's part of a collection of works at around the grade 1 level. And there's a link for that in the description. This piece is perfect for around the grade 1 level. Lots of things to work on. Definitely a little bit challenging, but nothing awkward in it that you shouldn't be able to play if you've gone through, my method books and the grade 1 lesson prep or repertoire lesson book. So here we have a number of different things happening. We have an upper melody line. We have other voices like the bass and inner voice, and it's all wrapped into these arpeggios that are played through the piece in a kind of nice little dance. So we have to pull apart each of those elements and make sure we are presenting them, but then that we're also combining them successfully. Usually we can do that through rhythm and phrasing. But I think the first thing, let's just point out what the melody is. And I think the melody here is, for example, in the first two measures, C, E, C, E. We're not going to include that G because I think that G is just accompanimental, right? The melody is really that uppermost line, not, even though that's nice, it's not necessarily part of the melody. So if I just played the basic melody, same thing on the second half. And then it kind of transforms itself a little bit. Maybe something like that. It depends how many of those notes you want to include as part of the melody. Now, let's just think about the hierarchy of the three-voice texture here, because we have a bass voice, but we also have these inner accompaniment notes, like I was saying, that G. That G is accompaniment, and that G is accompaniment there, and I think those are accompaniment as well. So in terms of our hierarchy, we want the melody to be the most prominent thing that we present to the audience, just that nice, simple little melody. Then we should have a certain amount of bass presence to kind of give it a cushion of sound and to present the harmony. And then the accompaniment should be relatively soft. Not so soft you can't hear it. It all combines to make the chords in the piece. But nevertheless, it's melody, bass, and then accompaniment in terms of presentation and volume. So when we put that together, soft, soft, so we just have a lot of different things going on. And I'll remind you that even though that seems complicated to have three different things that we're trying to manage, we're not micromanaging it. We really are just going to take the first two measures, for example, and loop them, and then just get them into our muscle memory. And then you don't think about it very much. Once it's in your hand, which notes of the melody and the process, it just becomes part of your muscle memory movements, and you don't think about it at all. Maybe you're finding that you're not bringing the melody out enough, so you try bringing it out a little bit more, and you just get that texture really into your hand. Let's just do a walkthrough of the piece. There's not too much to talk about because the piece isn't awkward necessarily in any way, but nevertheless, that doesn't mean that it's not challenging and there's not things that you have to work on. Pay attention to the right hand fingering just a little bit in this piece, just making sure that you start, for example, that second measure with the A finger on top like I've marked. That way I and M are available for the accompaniment notes afterwards. That way you don't have to repeat fingers. play the C sharps, just move your whole hand to second position. Then back to first position. Little minor section. If you want here, you can keep your fourth finger on the first string, shift down, and then your second finger is available for that final chord. So it might seem like a tough chord to grab, but you can just forget about using the fourth finger. You can also set up the 1 and the 3, and then grab the shape, and then the second finger is available for there. So it's about preparing your fingers beforehand for the shapes and keeping them curved. If they're all like flying out here, then yeah, you'll find that like grabbing the next chord is tricky because they're coming from outer space and trying to land, right? But if you keep everything kind of like prepared and curved and near the strings, pretty straightforward, right? Very small movements. All right there at your fingertips. So yeah, slow practice. Great opportunity though to work on a complex texture, but at the same time relatively simple and easy to accomplish and quite manageable at the grade 1 level. But lots of things to do if you want to polish it nicely to play it or perform it. Then plenty of things to work on. Bring out that melody nicely. Work on the balance a little bit. Just get the rest into muscle memory with slow practice. And then I'm sure it'll sound just beautiful. So hope you enjoy it.